welcome back to another episode of Critical Affection, where we affectionately criticize the pop culture that we love. And as you can see, this one is a very popular topic. We're going to talk about Arcane. And I got so much to say. I think we all got a lot to say about Arcane. But first, I got a couple of Kickstarters I want you guys to know about, and that's why we got our creators here to talk about it. So let's just go ahead and hop right into that. So, Matt, I am going to pull up yours, and you tell us, introduce yourself and tell us about your campaign.
Sure, everybody. How you doing? My name is Aaron Wroblewski. My name is Matt Knowles.
Jesus,
From
don't do that to me.
from Symmetry Creations, we've got Heirs of Isildur, The Perilous Prospects, book 4 of 5 on Kickstarter right now. We have 3 days left. It's apocalyptic sci-fi set in a steampunk world. We are super excited to get this piece of the story out. When this issue starts, we basically are at the climax point. So basically everything that's going to be in play for the final act of the story is going to be happening from page 1, whether you know it or not. We've got a ton of super awesome things in the campaign. We've got 4 different covers. There are a couple different variants on metal covers that are metal only variations of them. We're known for doing socks. This is our 7th pair of socks that we have in here. We've got shirts, we've got poker chips. We also have a metal trading card cross promo with the Stabity Bunny campaign. If you back our campaign physically, you get a card with Michael Isildur from Heirs of Isildur. If you back Stabity Bunny physically, you get a card with Grace from Stabity Bunny. But if you back them both, that's the only way to get the middle card, which has got the bunny from Stabity Bunny trying to get pulled through a rogue portal. Portals play a part in both stories. So we thought it'd be really fun to make that metal trading card series like that, where you have to back them both to get the entire scene. Like I said, we have 3 days left. We just crossed over minimum funding, and we have the first 2 stretch goals out there. We have a backer count stretch goal that we're only 4 away from. We have a dollar amount stretch goal that we're a few hundred away from. That's going to get you some more swag. There's metal music. We got all kinds of fun stuff, and we are really happy that everybody has supported us, especially Sarah.
That trading card crossover thing, that is cool. That is why hasn't that idea been stolen often?
Well, it's actually interesting because we got the idea to do a metal crossover from something we did previously with Lori and Charlie Stickney and some others, where if you backed them all, you got the metal print. Richard Rivera from Stabity Bunny was like, well, why don't we make it a trading card set instead? And to get all the pieces, you can get, that way if somebody backs a campaign, they're going to get something. And so we're like, let's do it. That sounds like a good idea, but we knew that middle card had to be the most important card, and Stabity Bunny's got a big fan base, and so we wanted to make sure the bunny was right there on the middle, and we think that it's it's been getting well received. So that's the metal only variant. So that version of the cover by Chess and Gwen, who are an awesome manga sister duo, that version with that kind of neon lighting, like he's walking through an alleyway at night, is only going to be available on metal.
Awesome. Oh, yeah, definitely go check it out. The link to go check it out is right there in the comments. So
tinyurl.com/errors TPP4. And when you go up there and do that, you can also go to tinyurl.com Stabity EA1 to get that other half of that metal trading card set.
Nice. Nice. Very cool. Yeah. A lot going on in here. I definitely, we could talk about it the whole hour and not catch it all, I'm sure. So. And I would love to talk about it at all hour, but
I would love to do that. But you know what else? I would love to talk about something that gets you kind of a little bit chilly down to your bones. Maybe some ice and bone.
We gotta hire this guy to do our segues.
Oh my god! very nicely done. Okay.
How Restream's just totally kicking you completely off of there, Aaron. I don't
That's
see your
okay.
face at
No
all.
one wants to see me anyway.
It's not about what you look like; it's about what you have to say.
Exactly. So Ice and Bone is the 5th in the series. We do have a cross promotion with Order of Dracula. It has finished, but if you do want the crossover art and still want to back his Kickstarter, please get in touch with me, and I can speak to the creator, and we'll hopefully work something out. But this started with Blood and Fire, follows Nikaki, who's an honorable samurai. It's he's basically there, betrayed, they're massacred, and Nikaki kills his way through revenge. And Ice and Bone is several months after Blood and Fire finishes, and continues the story. Lots of blood.
I appreciate that this page in black and white here, but except for the blood. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's pretty much the theme of the entire series.
Awesome.
And we're doing actually a zone, kind of art zone, fan art zone. So for artists who don't feel like they're getting a lot of traction, they can give us a samurai themed one page. It will be included in the digital release of the comic. You'll be named, and a link of your choice to your social media will be in the comic as a QR code.
Awesome.
So if
Very cool.
Yeah, so it's like all the information's right at the bottom of the campaign. So it's something extra, that fan art zone there underneath the free comic bundle.
There it is.
So
Yeah.
that's
pretty neat.
I'm trying to give something back to the artist creators. So hopefully it'll get bigger and bigger. If it does well, I am planning on giving it out to my other comics as well, an Enra, which is apocalyptic, and a Morpatris, which is supernatural horror. Give people a bit more kind of different genres to give their art style.
Nice.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. And you are funded. That's you are funded.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we are.
Everybody's funded.
Yeah.
But it'd be super cool if we got you a couple more pledges during our hour.
It'd be nice. Get those stretch goals. More free shit.
And as with Heirs of Isildur, so I stop saying it wrong.
You got it right. Boom.
I win. Yeah. So in the comments, there's your link. Go click it and peruse at your own leisure, because there's too much. For both of these campaigns, there's too much. We could spend the whole time talking about it, and it would be a long time. We would be talking for a while. But I am gonna put my little ticker thinger in here so as to make sure that everybody's reminded, so it doesn't actually leave your mind. So, all right. This is gonna be an interesting chat, I think. I just finished watching Arcane today. I just finished the last couple episodes today, and just opening thoughts. Does anybody want to go first? Like what's your, out of one being it's a piece of shit and 10 being oh my god it's perfect, what is your overall thought on Arcane?
9.9.
I'll give it a 9. I don't like giving things perfects because there's always room for extra.
I would have to give a different score for the different seasons. I think season 1 was probably a 9. If you looked at it from an animation perspective, probably a 9.5. If you look at it from a story perspective in season 2, I'd probably give it a 2.
I'm not that harsh on it, but yes, I agree. Season 1 was chef's kiss. Season 2 would have benefited from a third season, I think. They crammed too much in there. That's how it always is. But when it costs $10 million to make a single episode, I guess they've got to cram shit in, right? So,
yeah.
What are you gonna do? All right. What do we have to say about it? Mike, you were very quick on your grading scale. So what's your opening thoughts here about Arcane?
Oh, I'm opening thoughts are. I think Arcane's pretty amazing. I love the character development. I love the story. I love where they took us on this journey. There were things with the characters that, that I myself I find hard doing as a writer. So I really appreciate what they've done with the characters. Putting them into terrible situations and having them work their way out. The reason I say at 9.9 is because I probably would have did something different with Val's character or in a different direction, but that's only because that's still that I love what they gave me. I still love season 1 and season 2, despite me as a writer or creator would have been like, oh, I probably would have did this with her instead, but I still love what you gave me of her. Um, Animation is flawless. There's nothing I'm going to criticize about the animation, and it was just really 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 good. Me and my family, my wife and kids, we watched. I rewatched season 1 so they could watch it, and we binged it in 2 days. It's crazy, and we binged it to the point to where we didn't realize they were dropping 3 episodes a week, and we were so pissed when we got to those last 3. It was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Where's that? What's happening?
That sucks.
Yeah. But it came out the next day. It came out on Saturday when we watched it. So
so not horrible.
That wasn't that bad then.
yeah,
Interrupted my
jarring.
binge. How dare you?
yeah. I like to
Damn
be
you,
in
Netflix.
full. I like to be in full control of my binge. I may not watch all 17 episodes in one day, but I like to watch 4 or 5 at a time, and I don't like being told how I can watch my TV.
Yeah, if you want to watch all 17 episodes in the day, you should be able to do that.
Yeah.
Never mind what your
America,
boss
damn it.
says.
Oh,
Do it at work.
Right? Exactly. Don't tell me how to watch TV, boss.
Schmirk. Anybody else? Thoughts on the?
I mean, I got a confession to make. I haven't watched season 2 yet.
Oh my God! There's 2 of you.
I know I wanted to, but I got so much other crap to catch up on, and I was losing those streaming services because we get them, a lot of them at Thanksgiving because it's cheap for like
Sure.
3 months. So
Sure.
I binge watched what was it, the Agency on Showtime. So I'm sorry that kind of took priority over Arcane. It is on my to-do list. don't
That's
shoot me.
fair.
But season 1, brilliant. I mean, like I said, everyone says the animation is amazing.
Yeah, they definitely I think set new standards for the way that the animation is. One of the things that animation always has a really tough time with is mouths, and Arcane I think takes it to the next level where you don't even think about the fact that it's animated sometimes because they get the mouths right so much of the time that it definitely takes it to another level.
They get the mouth so right that they intentionally overspit in the show. There's so many times where there's a drool of spit, a drop of spit, just for no reason. It's like, why are you drooling right now?
There's so
Because
much
they can.
slobber in this show. There really is.
Yeah,
I think it's very realistic, but I'm drooling right now, so
yeah.
there's that.
But no, because I absolutely agree with Matt saying the mouth animation are crazy good. And then once I noticed that, it was just spittle all the
Yes.
time.
And like I kept zeroing in on the teeth when they would open their mouths. The teeth. I'm like, they always are just that one white block in animation, but these individually rendered teeth. And I was like, it almost looks wrong because it looks so realistic. It's like, but this is supposed to be a cartoon.
Yeah, there was a couple times at the end of season 2 where they didn't get the mouth exactly right, and I'm like, oh whoa, that's right, this is animation. And I mean, it was just every once in a blue moon you'd catch it, but it was like, wow, if this one little time they didn't get it right, how many times did they get it right and you didn't even notice? So that's something I would definitely give them a big positive on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was just the mouths are amazing. But the entire face, the expressions in there, like you knew exactly what those people were feeling every single step of the way because their faces were so, or like when they were trying very hard to keep a steely gesture, steely facial expression. It was very good. It was so good. The animation is just so good.
Now I will say this: when I watch shows like this, I try to watch it as if I'm somebody, which most of the time I am somebody that is not as big on the other form of the source material, and say if I'm somebody that is coming in raw, would I still enjoy this? So like for instance, One Piece, I know this isn't a One Piece show, but I cite the One Piece live action is probably one of the best live action conversions that I've ever seen. because you've got, just from a writer's perspective, you've got 7 episodes that look like they're going to different places, and then that 8th episode they pull every one of them back together, and it works perfectly. On the converse, when it comes to Arcane, they are so all over the place in season 2 that if you don't know the source material, you are going to be so utterly confused. And I don't know the source material. I want to be somebody that I can watch it and feel like I understand it while it's going on. And then if I want to go get a deeper understanding of it, then I could go look at additional material. But there are some points in Arcane where like characters aren't even there for like multiple episodes in season 2. Vi and Jinx was like the absolute anchor of season 1, and you get into season 2 and it's just so all over the place because they're trying to go into so many different storylines and pull so many different characters in that it feels like sometimes they get lost. And I mean, I may be the only person with that opinion, but I feel like there's times they get lost and you're like, why do I care about this character? Why do I care about that character? And sometimes it just kind of takes you off on wild goose chases.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree about that, because I was like, there's Vi she was absolutely adamant she would never join the Enforcers, and then suddenly she's an Enforcer, and then just like that, she's not an Enforcer anymore, and she's a underground street fighter, and she's drinking away her problems, which that part I get, but like that was all over the place, and they didn't give us enough information about why the hell it was all happening. Jade Needs a Hug says, I wish Netflix would support its shows better. Arcane is great, but Netflix seemingly doesn't know how to market or advertise shows, especially animated ones. I'm inclined to agree. I think that it's difficult for anybody to advertise shows anymore, because we can pay to get rid of the ads now, and we can fast forward through ads, and so it's hard to get those shows in front of people. But definitely we need to figure out, I mean, Jesus, if we knew how to do that, then we'd all be selling our comics like crazy, wouldn't we? If we could figure out how to get in touch with people that are buy our shit.
Netflix only advertises sure hits. Like, I have seen so many adverts for Squid Game.
Yeah, and they didn't do that for Squid Game in the first season. That was a surprise hit.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it's huge. And that you would have thought season 2 of Arcane would have done better, where they would have done better with the marketing for that, because season 1 did well. And yeah season 1's story was almost perfectly concrete. Like it was excellent. And I don't like anything that I have to say about it would mostly be nitpicks at this point. Season 2 is where they start showing the cracks, and I like, so the biggest problem I think I had with the story itself in season 2 was that why did we have to bring in the Noxian angle? Like that must be source material stuff that I didn't know about from League of Legends, and but like there was already a huge conflict between the Topsiders and the Zonites, yeah, the Undercity people. Like there was already, that conflict was there. We didn't need to introduce a third angle. They could have done this without that. Like I didn't see the need for that.
Well, then you went into the metaverse stuff, and you've got the ethereal stuff, and it just felt like, what is the thing we're supposed to be focusing on? And it just got so, I feel like they kind of did an okay job of wrapping it up at the end, but it just felt like the story is what hurt it. It was incredibly designed, incredible looking, but I just felt myself going, I don't even understand what's going on right now. I'm just watching it because I want to see the cool animation. But I kind of at one point had to tune out trying to pay attention to the storyline because it got so all over the place in season 2, especially in the second half. Michael Watson, you might disagree with me on that, sir, but I feel like season 2 just kind of got all over the place.
I do disagree, and that's okay. That's okay, because I'm listening, and I'm listening carefully because I want to listen with an open ear and respect where you're coming from.
Well, if you're somebody that really enjoyed it, I want to hear from your side too, why you felt like it made sense, because I want to understand it more.
So I know none of the lore from Arcane. I could give two shits about that game. I'm never going to play it. There's nothing they can do. And I'm in love with this series that will make me go play that over-the-top cell phone, mobile, whatever the hell it is they call it. Never gonna happen. But I'm not going to overstep it or anything like that. I do think they did a lot of things there, but I felt like with each episode they gave you what you needed to progress to the next story, to the next episode or whatnot. I didn't feel overwhelmed. Oh, sorry. Did my cough eject somebody from the
Cough
screen?
crying out.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow. Whew, that was some cough. I have no idea what you just said. I heard the last 4 seconds, and apparently I got coughed out.
That's wild. I always felt like the episodes gave me enough of the information that I needed to exist and enjoy what was going on there. And I'm always okay. Well, not always, but I was okay with it. And I can perfectly admit I have bias. I could have a whole bias cloud that is making me, be acceptable of things that they've done. Just because I was so impressed with everything else. I don't mind it because they gave us time skips. And I noticed I remember you saying there were characters that disappeared for a couple episodes. I noticed that too, but then we got back with those characters and then we saw what those characters were doing. I guess I don't, and it's always how you handle it, but I don't mind a montage here or there to get me caught up on what someone's doing or whatnot. And I'm not even gonna lie, like when we were there, like we were watching it, I said, yeah, they probably could have won a third season, but then I'm impatient. I don't want to wait for a third season. So I don't want to wait for the animated again.
Ever to get a second season to us, didn't it? Like this
Right.
has been out for the first season was out for ages before we even got word that we were getting a second season. So
Yeah,
who
no,
knew
no,
how long
absolutely.
we'd have to? I think it could have been like the second season should have been 2 seasons, and that would have been. I think that would have been great. Then we wouldn't. We could have had more detail in the stories, and that's because that's what bothered me. Is like it all seemed like it was too much crammed into too little time. Like we had a Spider-Man 3 situation, it was just too much.
Well,
And-
I would not say Spider-Man 3. I'd say if they
No?
gave me 2 or
That's
3
pretty
more
dirty.
episodes, if they gave me 2 or 3 more episodes in this season, I think there would have been more satisfaction for you guys because I can love everything that they gave me, but understand and see where you guys are coming from for it objectively. So
But
I would say 2 or 3 more episodes would have fleshed that out better.
Don't forget though, Netflix is very passionate about cancelling season
they
3s
are.
of good shows.
They are.
So-
they are.
So
So
they might be
They
like,
were,
okay,
yeah,
this
they
is
were probably scared. Yeah.
yeah.
Holy
I mean, they
shit.
probably crammed as much in as they could because they don't know if season 3 is going to happen.
that's
I
a
think-
valid point. That's a very valid point being on Netflix.
Yeah, I
100%.
think that's a really good reason for them having crammed so much into season 2. I think that if they would have woven the conflict between Piltover and Zahn a little bit more in the second season, and then introduced the Noxian, like the General Ambessa, Mel Medarda's mom.
She's
She-
incredible.
She is a fucking amazing character, and she did not get enough time. That she was like, I mean, like she was in well, just like all the characters, every single character I think in this show is morally gray. None of them were truly 100% right, and none of them were truly 100% wrong. And I just really love, Ambessa is very might makes right, I think. And she was obsessed with, power and control. And I'm like, what happened to her in her life that made her like that? I want to know stuff like that. Because that is, like, she's a fascinating character, and there's more to that story, but we didn't get it because there just wasn't enough time. And so it was just all like, look at what a nasty, rotten, horrible bitch she is, and why she's trying to destroy these 2 whole
See?
worlds. But and she was a very good character, and I just don't think that they gave her enough time.
See, people came out with that she's a rotten bitch and she's evil. I did not get that. I've got that. I took from it that she was a leader.
That's all we had
She-
time to get.
Maybe we were watching 2 different moments. Maybe my Netflix gave me a different version because I completely understood that she was a leader making leader decisions. That
Mhm.
she was one of these people that understood that to be the person on top, you're going to have to make choices and decisions that people are not going to like for the
Mhm.
survival of your community, your people, and her world. So I absolutely got that. So I never thought that she was an evil bitch. I thought she was straightforward. And maybe, honestly, it's because of how my mom was with me. Like, my mom was a very direct and strong-willed and a passionate person, about raising me and in our house and things like that. And you kind of, it just feel like
Mhm.
that's a mother and a queen doing what she needs, not only for her people, but for her daughter, for her family.
Mhm.
And it may seem like she's heartless, but you can see her story is on her body. Her story is on her
Mhm.
face. She has seen some shit. So she is somebody that has made that tough decision and knows how to do it and move past it. She may not settle on it in that moment that it's happening, but she has time later on that she revels in it or she's hit by it. But she knows she has to be a leader first. That I never took her like she was the bad guy, but I never took her as a nasty bitch.
I don't think like I said, that's why I wanted to see more of it, because we just got too much of one side of her, the scheming and the fact that she used everybody. She was playing Zahn against Piltover, and she was trying to she tried to take Jace and Caitlyn under her wing to try and manipulate them. I wanted to see more of her, because she definitely, like, you could see she did. Her daughter was very angry and felt, even maybe, I would argue, maybe even some measure of hate towards her mother. But her mother thought she was doing the right thing, and that's why she's not a bad person. She's morally gray, of course, but she's not a bad person. She was doing what she thought, what she believed to be right. And that's what makes the character so damn interesting. She is making horrible, nasty decisions. However, she believes that she's right.
So Sarah, what are we talking about here? Because I think we agree.
No, we agree.
I agree more violently.
I think we definitely. I think I spoke my opinion poorly. I think that, but I wish that we could have gotten more of her, because she just comes off as just a bad person to me. Like, and I was like, and I know that's not true, because look at the way her face, like, again with those mouths and the animation on the mouths, look at the way that her face contorted just ever so slightly when the mention of her son was like, whenever somebody talked about what happened to Kino, and her face just twisted ever so slightly, and you knew she was ready to break down, but she managed to hold her shit together. And then when she was talking about Mel and like how she wanted Mel to be strong, and like, just, she believes that she's not right to believe that, but she does believe it, and that's what makes it gray. It's not.
So I'm going to ask you this, and I'm going to shut up so somebody else can talk. So, with her character, did they write her bad, or did they do exactly what they needed to do to give you all that information, and other people just didn't catch it? Because the way you were describing her and the things that you caught are the same things that I saw in her, the same things that I caught, which delivered that same information to both of us. So it wasn't just me that saw that. You clearly saw that too. So is that a mishandling of the character or bad writing, or did people just not receive those cliff notes the way they should have?
Can it be both? Because I think
absolutely. I don't
should
think
have
there's a right or wrong answer.
Yeah, they should have given her more time. They should have given her character more care, I think. But also, I think that there, especially like the first season, absolutely, you couldn't take your eyes off of that screen for even a moment, or you were gonna miss something. But it was in a higher gear for season 2, and you couldn't, like, you almost have to go back and watch it twice just to catch everything in each episode. And I think that had I not been paying so much attention to it, I would have missed stuff, and then I would have just gotten the, Ambessa is a bad person angle, and not caught all those nuances that, that little, like I said, that facial expression where her face twisted when Mel asked her what happened to Kino.
Yeah.
It was so fast. Like, if you weren't looking, if you blinked, you would have missed it. That's how fast it was.
That's
She's a very, and yeah, like, you just got to pay attention. And I think so. I think that I think that the viewers who think that she's a bad person need to go back and pay attention. But I also think that it would have been nice if they could have given her a little more care. And I think that again, that's expands into that whole, we needed a third season thing to give her more attention. But even then, now that you've said what you said, I'm like, maybe a third season would have been too much, because we need to pay more attention to this shit when we're watching it. Like, not just this.
Yeah, you got to be.
Like,
you have
people
to be
don't pay enough
invested.
attention.
Yeah, because people are probably like that.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
They're creators like us. There's so much lore and stuff that's hidden in there that was just lore crafted for the show. Like, I don't give a shit about all the shit for Arcane the game or whatnot, but all the stuff that they put in there for just the characters in that show, like, that show was meant to be viewed and paid attention. So, like, that's kind of where I stand on that. Like, I think they gave enough context clues. I think they gave enough stuff in the character, the way that they walk, the way that they carry themselves, that told more just as much story as as the words, as their voices.
Absolutely, yeah. So I have a specific question about specific stuff that happened. How do we feel about the montages, the musical numbers with the different animation styles? They did it in both seasons, and season 1 executed very well. What do we think about how it was executed in season 2? Because I'm pretty sure we're all in agreement season 1 was about perfect.
Not a fan. Not a fan. It's okay. I wouldn't have minded it as much in season 2 if it wasn't so often. Like you had so many, it almost felt like every episode we have to have the dirty, 15 frames a second kind of montage with a pop culture type song. Then we have to have a Zack Snyder slow motion battle of some sort. It doesn't matter who it's between. It doesn't matter what it's about. It could be two people walking down the street, but we have to make sure they're doing it in a slow motion style to make it seem like it's the biggest battle in the world. And it just felt like it was too much. And they did it too many times across the episodes. That's my feeling.
Absolutely. I think they did a great job on each individual montage, but there were too damn many of them. That's like, there was one episode I think that had 2 of them in there, and I was like, that's too much for 40 minutes. And like, they were beautifully done. If you looked at them as an individual entity, they were beautifully done. However, having one in every episode, it was overused.
It just
Gotta
felt
have their
like
TikTok clips every week.
Yeah, it felt like the time could have been used on other things. Because they went so far into so many different storylines and different angles and different things you had to pay attention to. It's like, maybe cut that down by a little bit. Cut some of the big long battle scenes out. Just cut them down just a little bit to get it to where you can get some of those other interpretations a little more. Like you guys talk about with Ambassador, maybe get a little more of her in those spots. Maybe you get a little more of Caitlyn and Vi. To me, I felt like that relationship, I didn't buy it. Didn't feel like it was believable. I felt like it was kind of forced.
It was a little forced, yeah.
And I felt like, without spoiling it for those people that have not seen season 2, the point and the one scene in the jail where they really decide that they're going to consummate this relationship, just from a cinematic standpoint, felt ridiculous in that show. And I would have felt odd if I had a kid or a young teen watching that with me. When they got to that point, it just felt like it was unnecessary in the style of show that it was.
I did feel odd. I watched it
the whole time
Good.
watching that scene. I was watching that whole scene going, oh my God, the diseases that they could be catching right now. What the hell? You can't just in a dirty, nasty prison cell? What are you doing?
I was like, she's so dirty. Go upstairs and take a shower.
There's a 0% chance that those 2 didn't come out with a couple of yeast infections. Bare minimum.
Yeah,
It was no. Ew, no.
It was, and it's in a prison with the door open, and I'm like, that just doesn't seem believable for any characters to make that decision at that point. To maybe a little bit, but to take it to the level they did, just felt like it was a pandering situation.
I'm always gonna come from the other side, because it was an awkward moment or whatnot. But again, so 2 things for me, it was an awkward moment. And then I looked at it and was like, am I looking at this with my male eye? Like, this is awkward, or is this awkward because of the written scenario or whatnot? But then I could also see for some points that the second season felt like it was about, your life could be snuffed out at any moment, for taking a stand at any point. Like, you could die. So that was their chance to consummate before either one of them died. So I know that's a stretch, but that, when I'm looking at those things, I try to think about that too. Like, am I thinking about this like because I'm a guy and I'm not seeing it? I don't understand like what these 2 women are experiencing right now, or was that a poor written decision?
Fair. And I can absolutely see Vi not caring about the disgusting, nasty prison cell that she was in, because that's where she spent her whole life, in dirty places. She's not, but like Caitlyn Caitlyn is she was born and raised an aristocrat. There's no freaking way. Even with all the horror that she'd seen in the past several months or years or however long it was, there's no way. There's no
Maybe
way
she's
that she wouldn't be grossed out by that.
Maybe she's just horny and wanted some.
I mean,
Well, you know
that's
what?
fair.
Honestly,
Okay,
very
like
fair.
the power of hormones cannot be ignored here. But like, I mean, like, are you telling me there wasn't even a cleaner place anywhere in that prison? Like, there had to be an office or something.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Hey, they're
Well, and
absolutely.
Michael, your point is very, very valid there. And I actually put
Extremely, yes.
myself in that. And I was like, if it was a heterosexual couple or a gay male couple, would I feel any differently? No, it wouldn't at all. Because I'm like we've said, we're in the middle of this battle. You're in a jail. There's the doors wide open. Characters in that situation, I felt like it seemed very odd for me. Now, Michael, what you said, I think that's true. Maybe it was, we could die at any moment. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it. We don't need to be waiting for anything. It just did feel very weird to be at that point, and especially for them to take as much time as they did on that scene in the show.
Yeah.
Awkward amount of time on that scene because like they cut it off abruptly and like they didn't show us, like, just for you two that didn't watch it yet, they didn't show you anything. So don't go rushing to see the lesbian sex scene. It was sexy, but it was also, like I said, for me it was tainted by the fact that they were in a gross prison cell. So that was bothering me the whole time. But it was a sexy scene, but they cut it off before anything real happened, like any actual sex stuff happened. We just saw insinuendo.
Amazing moment at the end with.
I just made up a word. Insinuendo.
I like it.
No, you're good. We know what
what
that
I'm
meant.
saying though. Like they insinuated what was happening, but they didn't show us anything. And Jade Needs a Hug said something there too. Specific scene feels awkward because of how fast it ends. It felt like pandering, and it was confirmed by the animators to be cut down for time. Okay, so that makes sense why they cut it off at such an awkward place.
Yeah, they did say it was long. They did say it was longer.
Come on, and if the animators say it was longer, that would have made it even more awkward because we don't need that thing to be that long in a season that felt like every episode you were just getting smacked in the side of the head every 3 minutes with a different plot point and a different, this character's now in this metaverse and this what if scenario. Okay, let's stop for a 4-minute montage. Let's stop for this other 4-minute montage. Let's stop for this battle. Now let's go back to 30-second clips of 12 different competing storylines. It felt like the pacing was a little bit weird at times for whatever reason.
The writers were like, we have a checklist. We have to get through every single episode.
Yeah,
but unless it's a budgetary concern, how is there a time limit on a streaming series? There is no...
Animation's expensive.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is that they writ it but didn't make it.
In several places, each episode cost roughly $10 million. Like they weren't shitting with that. So it was a very expensive show.
Yeah.
But that being said, I feel like they could have used their money more wisely, especially like scenes like that.
If we kind of go off of what Matt's saying is that you trim down some of the montages with the battles and stuff, take some of that down, and you give the show a little bit more time to breathe. I mean, you could have, and this is me trying to look at it from both perspectives, both opinions. I mean, you could have made that scene longer by her coming in, Val coming in, doing what she did, and then taking her hand and saying, "Let's go upstairs." And them going upstairs, you could have had a montage of their lips moving, but we don't hear what they're saying. But like we kind of get this feeling of like we see these images of people that they've lost that we've seen in the show or whatnot, and then to go up to her room and they sit there and they kind of like not guess at that, but hint at that, like we could die tomorrow.
Insinuendo.
Yeah, there you go. We could die tomorrow. Like
Never
Val
hear
goes.
the end of that one, am I?
Why? It's a great word.
It is. It seems like a kind of a good word. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jade Needs a Hug said, "Big elephant in the room. Netflix slightly cut it weird because they removed all the scenes with Vi and Caitlyn together for the Chinese market." That is true. They did do that. They removed like anything where they were doing anything romantic, women together. I'm sure they removed the scenes of Caitlyn and Maddie as well.
I mean, Star Wars did it for the sequel trilogy. All the posters were different in China.
Yeah, and like I get that. I get editing it for different markets, but like China, gay people exist in your country too. Just
yeah. I mean, I remember watching Watchmen, the film, in Saudi Arabia, and they cut all the scenes where there's full nudity and sex scenes, it was a weird freaking film.
28
And
minutes long.
I didn't. When I watched the proper version, I'm like, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Like, well, I think that with Arcane, I mean, Watchmen's a totally different story, but with Arcane, you can cut the sex scenes out and still get what's going on. Like, they're not integral to the storytelling, but
And
Think
there's
they'll have an
always a
uncut
way
version
to,
later.
but there's always a way to hint that the sex is happening without showing us that it's happening. That they could have did, and we would have got the idea
yeah.
all the same and been able to move on. Because like all you do is put them in a doorway, and they get a look and they shut the door. Oh, we know what they're doing.
I mean,
and
it's
there's
just,
your more time.
Red flicks.
oh, but
Red
if there's one
flicks.
thing that you get from this part of the discussion, don't have sex in a dirty prison cell, okay? It's
Don't tell me what to do. You're not my boss.
Hey,
you know, okay, just make sure you have good insurance if you do, because you're
Fair
gonna
enough.
have to go to the doctor after that.
that cell was disgusting.
I mean, you saw you saw the one that Vi lived in. If it wasn't that specific cell, it was one in that same area, and it was gross. And she'd been punching the wall, so there was like years of dried blood caked on there, and it's just.
Okay.
And there's no way they didn't. I never seen a single power washer in that entire show. You know they weren't cleaning those cells.
I'm sorry because you said the blood. I have to sidetrack. Do you guys know? And this has nothing to do with the show. You just said blood and it made me remember this. Do you know how they used to figure out if women were pregnant back in the day?
Frogs?
From like checking their bed sheets, wasn't it?
No, it's a term called the rabbit died. They would take women's urine and inject it into rabbits, kill the rabbit, and then dissect it to check the blood to see if a woman was pregnant. This is what they used to do. And now you're like, well, Mike, where the fuck did you get that from? My wife likes to watch old shows. Like, what was it? Dick Van Dyke or whatever. And that's how she told her husband that she was pregnant. She looked at him and said, well, the rabbit died. And me and Karen were like, what the does that mean? That's how you tell somebody in the 50s you're pregnant? There's
So
your
weird.
educational tip.
I've never heard that phrase.
never
My
heard that
mom was
before.
obsessed with those old shows. I can't believe I've never heard that before. That is so weird.
It
Um,
is.
That made me think about there's a show on Apple TV Plus called Lessons in Chemistry. I don't know if you've watched it. It's a little bit
So
chick
good.
flicky. I fucking love that show. I highly recommend it. It's
Highly
about
recommend.
feminism, women's rights, and stuff. And anyway, there's a scene where she thinks she's pregnant, and she does tests with her urine on rats to find out. But she doesn't kill the rat. I'm pretty sure the rat, or no, not a rat, a frog. It was a frog. It was a frog. And I'm pretty sure she doesn't kill the frog to do it. But yeah, she totally used her own pee on the frogs. Yeah.
Sorry, that was wild.
There was
I
no,
know some,
there was no, you know, the easy sticks that you pee on to find that out anymore. Like they didn't have those then.
I got some useful information. Do you know where raining cats and dogs come from?
Oh,
Where?
Oh no, I don't.
In the
do I
the
wanna
good old
know?
days, they had thatched roofs, and the cats and dogs used to hide in them because it was warm. And when it was really raining, they'd fall into the building. Hence,
Nice.
raining cats and dogs.
Never heard that before. We learn something new every day. I like that fact
I think
a
we
lot
learned-
better than Michael's fact right now. I'm telling you.
Poor bunny rabbits.
We've got rabbits,
I'm
frogs,
not-
innuendos.
I am
Man,
not
this is a
going to
good
have
show
nightmares.
today.
Not
Hey,
gonna
this
have
episode
nightmares
has it all.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Episode
Jade
has
is
it all, Ants.
a bigger contributor to the show than I am. Got audience
Yeah, Jade
contribution.
has made several really good points. One of which I haven't even read yet, which is right here. The best music drop was Heimerdinger's song and the song with Echo where the shots move in 4 seconds to show how he's perceiving the moment. Nearly every other song drop felt out of place. I don't know if I think every other song was weird, but Heimerdinger's song was beautiful. Like it was almost like cry beautiful. Like it was really pretty.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
I hope that Aaron and Brian, I hope you go and watch the second season.
Oh,
Even
I
though
totally
we'll
will.
totally
It's on-
fucking
it's on
ruin
my
it
to-do
for
list.
you.
Well, and I will say this. If it's been a while since you watched season 1, I don't know if this happened with
Yeah.
Sarah and Michael, but I watched the first episode of season 2, and I was so lost. I literally had to go back and watch the entire season 1 again.
I started- Yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
started
that would make-
rewatching season 1. I'm like, oh yeah, they start out as little kids. Oh yeah, they do a lot of stuff with the topside people. I completely forgot about them.
Yeah.
Like, I better just rewatch.
No,
It's
Yeah.
important to remember that the topsiders are there because they are a big part of the story in the second
Right?
season.
But they weren't
Ah.
visible in season
Watch
1.
first,
Not enough.
first season again.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, you should probably just go ahead and do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it has been a
Yeah.
while.
Well, no, I mean, I wanted my family to watch it because we watch anime and movies all the time, and I knew they would really like it. So I did. So just like Matt's right, I agree with him. Watch season 1 again. I mean, it's a great
Absolutely
season,
agree,
so
yeah.
it doesn't hurt anything. And we rolled right into the next season, and it was just it was good.
It was, and yeah, and I mean, I would totally give season 1 a 10 of 10. I think it was an excellent season. Like almost, again, the things that I would change, nitpicks all the way. Like there's just nitpicks. But the second season had pacing issues. It put too much into too small space, and I wanted to see more of what the hell made Ambessa tick. Like, why was she doing that? Because the thing she was doing was so horrible, but she believed in them, and that changes things. Like when you are doing stuff to be an asshole, that's different than doing shitty stuff because you believe it's right. You're not doing it just to be an asshole. You're doing it because you think this is the way to the good place, right? And that's what she believed. She believed she was doing what was best for her country, but she did it so shitty.
She
She's
is
a great
the current.
character.
She is the current Thanos. When Thanos is
Oh, yeah.
talking to Gamora, and she's like, you don't know that, and he takes. This is when you knew Thanos was real, and he believed everything he said. When he took a deep breath and threw his head back and said, "I'm the only one," like that just felt like a person who had the weight of the universe on his shoulders, and he has tried everything else to stop this from happening. And this is the only, and to him, snapping his fingers is a luxury, is a courtesy to everyone to not have them suffer. And Bosa had moments like that when she's talking to her daughter, when she's trying to explain things to her daughter as a queen, and then also at times as a mother. She's had those moments. So that's why it really stands out to me. And I see her as, she's not an evil, sadistic person. She's doing what she feels is the best for the continuous existence of her people and her daughter. Like, look at how much sacrifice this woman has done. She put her daughter on a whole nother planet. And she didn't put her on the bottom. She put her on the top. Like, this sounds like a banishment, but she put you in charge of a planet and let you run that planet the way that you want to, because she felt that was the only way to get through to you. Only for her to come in and see, have you learned your lesson? Oh shit, you still haven't? Well, I still got to teach you, because you're still my kid, but I'm still a queen.
My one argument to the Thanos thing, like, definitely a good comparison, but like, if Thanos can snap his finger and eliminate half the people in the universe, he could have also snapped his finger and doubled the resources. I'm just saying.
He could have.
Exponential growth says it doesn't matter.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
it would've
why
just
it
doubled
wouldn't
the
matter if he
problem.
would have snapped his finger. Like, snapping the fingers it would eventually gotten exactly where we were before the snap. So why do that? His wiping out everything and starting fresh was a better idea than snapping half the people away or doubling the resources. But it was also the cruelest. Well, you know what?
I love
just turning to dust couldn't have been that painful. Come on.
I love this because Thanos has reference. He has experience that doing this works. That's why he took the gauntlet, because he didn't want people to suffer. The snap was to make it easy. But this man was going from planet to planet, killing half the population and keeping tabs on it. Keeping tabs on all those planets. And those planets were succeeding. They were vibrant and they were full of life. So based off of his experience, just like Ambessa, I'm sorry I pronounced the name wrong, but based off of that, he felt his way was the right way.
His reasons were very justified. It was never done like, I'm going to be cruel, tying people to train tracks.
That's the problem with him and Ambessa, is that they both believed what they were doing was right. That what they were doing objectively was wrong, but they believed. they were right. And that's what changed. Like, that changes everything about the character. That's what makes her interesting, is the fact that she didn't do it to be a cruel, like, she wasn't there to just mow down the entire planet and take it for herself. She believed what she was doing was right. That's why her character is such a fascinating character to me. It's like, she did bad things, and but she didn't do only bad things. She did do some good stuff too, but she was manipulative and she was cruel, but she believed. That's the thing. Like, she believed in what she was doing. And so it's just very conflicting. I want to hate her, but I can't. I want to hate her for what she did, but I cannot, because she was doing what she thought was the right thing. It's such a good fucking character and a good fucking show, and I wish we would get 3 seasons instead of 2. And you know what? It doesn't even matter. What?
But you're getting more. They're getting 3 spinoffs with these.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they are doing spinoffs. I don't. I like spinoffs, but like, I mean, they could have animated nothing, and I would have watched it just because that animation was so fucking pretty. Like, that is beautiful animation. And
so I have a question for you guys. So, season 1, I think all of us agree, especially the 2 on the bottom row. They're like, yes, we're talking season 1 now. That the moral compass, the overriding story was Vi made a mistake. Vi caused Jinx to become Jinx, and Vi had a regret of this situation, and that you really felt that in season 1. Do you, okay, now that's me not talking about season 1 anymore, sorry guys. Do you feel like, and this is one of the things I felt like was a problem in season 2, it felt like you didn't really have that one thing in season 2, because it felt like there was so many things, like you were supposed to believe in this thing or believe this person is bad because I said so. You know, it wasn't because you truly felt it yourself. Do you guys feel the same way about season 2, where it just felt like that deep moral understanding and conflict wasn't there as much as in season 1?
So
Yeah?
I
would say Jace and Victor became the new Vi and Powder, because that they were the ones, you know, fighting. We made a mistake, and I should have listened to you, and I didn't listen to you, and I was wrong, and you were right, and you know, all that between those two. But it wasn't as upfront and in our faces as season 1 was, and again, would have benefited from a little more time.
So I think I would agree with that some. I don't think I needed it as much in second season, because they did do the time skip, and Val really suffered. And they were never evil to begin with. They were never really evil parents. They were victims of their circumstance. Yes. So we get to see how it plays out of these sisters coming back together, because all Jinx, aka Powder, lacked was confidence to have the ability to do the things that she did. And It took a terrible road for her to get there, but she never hated her sister. That's the one thing that we've always seen through season 1. She always loved her sister, and she was trying to see if her sister still loved her, because their last confrontation was so terrible. She had to put her to the test. But I also agree with Sarah that the 2 guys became the new Val and Powder in this season. And I do like how that unfolded out with them. And that's one of the reasons why I really enjoy season 2, because we got to see these different lanes of these relationships and how these relationships played on each other, you know, to give us this story.
Mm-hmm. And Jade Needs a Hug said, I think the biggest problem of season 2 is that you got so attached to the characters and it became difficult to extract yourself from their views. And that's a good way to put it too, because like we wanted to I mean, like Victor and Jace did such great things, and they, you know, despite Heimerdinger objecting constantly, and like I mean, arguably Heimerdinger is the one person everybody should have listened to and didn't. But yeah, like it's hard to get to the point where you it's hard to get to the point where you're like, okay, this character is my favorite character, I love this character, but they're wrong. Now what do I do?
Yeah. That's another good point. Like, you love this character, but this character is doing something wrong. So how do you balance that as a fan? And you know,
boy, does that have some corollary with what's going on in the real world today? I don't know. We should stop there because I have a quiz. Y'all get to take.
Oh,
Winner
God.
winner gets a sticker. It should be something that you guys can kind of extrapolate from the conversation today, plus what you've already seen. I'm not into trick questions and shit. So, let me pull it
False.
up here. False.
Aaron wins.
Really? Okay.
I just put Matt's name on my on my quiz.
Okay. Son of a bitch. The music on this stupid quiz thing is so freaking loud. All right. Everybody jump on in. It's play.blookit.com and then enter that number up there, or you can scan the barcode. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward.
Oh my God. I didn't know we had to do homework.
Absolutely, Jade, you may participate, and the winner gets a sticker. You can pick a sticker. I got a few different ones, and I got a button too. I got, and yeah, if one of you guys wants to donate a prize instead of a sticker, that's cool too. But I should probably ask people who come as guests if they want to donate a prize, because, rather than springing it on you 5 minutes before the show's end.
Jade, you should get in here.
Yes, absolutely, Jade. Get in there.
I have a feeling Jade's gonna do better than I am.
I'm so gonna do so bad.
No, you're not, Aaron. Come
I'm
on.
gonna do worse than you.
I'm gonna change my name to Matt, the real Matt.
I changed my name to
that
Sarah.
that you'll get at least half of them right, unless you're
Jade,
paying
yes, you
attention.
can participate. Jade, join in.
Yes, absolutely. Jump in.
Yeah, Jade doesn't need to ask so nicely. Jade just needs to get in there and be like, I'm going to just tear you guys up.
Give it like 30 more seconds. Anybody who's watching wants to play. And if you want to win the sticker, you do have to send me your address, or I can't send you a sticker. So, if you win, then don't leave until I tell you how to give me your information.
And while we're waiting, I did pin those 2 links to those amazing Kickstarters we were talking about earlier in the chat. So please go over there and go check them out. They're pinned to the top of the chat, y'all.
Appreciate that, Mike.
Much obliged.
Is that you, the Jade? Are you JD in there? It says why am I not in? I see you. I think you might be a little laggy. Is that? I think
The
that might be
YouTube's
all it
at
is.
least 8 seconds behind.
That's probably all it is. I see 5 people here. It's probably fine. But okay, and that's the good thing about this. See, we can thank Mike for showing me how to do quizzes without making it a mess for everybody, because I was trying to just put the question up on the board and counting to 30, and it was bad. But yeah, these are easier. I stopped using what's the other one? I stopped using the one because they started trying to make me pay for it, but this one's good too. All right, I'm gonna hit the go button now. You gotta answer it on your phone. So, who becomes Zahn's representative on the council?
Zahn. I'm terrible with names.
I'm just guessing on these all these.
But this one, unfortunately, is one that you have to watch the second season to know.
Oh, did I guess right? Oh my God.
Yes.
Yes.
I figured.
See, now that's where everybody got it right, so now they gotta do the scoring by how fast
man.
you did it.
Y'all should be ashamed.
I should have guessed quicker.
Silco, as known as the Blank of Zahn. Now, this is a first season thing. We didn't talk about Silco at all. Dang. Silco was
Womp
kind of
womp.
important too.
Oh, everyone Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I think we know who's going to win this. I think we know who's getting the sticker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bottom of the list already.
What was the original purpose of Vi's gauntlets?
Oh shoot!
Oh,
I got it
bam!
wrong.
You guys guessed that
Looking
one quick.
fresh as
Okay.
hell.
Damn! I moved too fast.
Yeah,
Terrible.
that one was a little tricky though, because mining and construction are similar. So that one
Yeah, that's
was
what
a
I.
little
Yeah.
tricky. I wouldn't call it a trick question, but Who kidnapped and imprisoned Vi? Should be like extra credit for why did that happen.
But that you have to do an essay form.
Yeah. And that would take too long. I don't want to.
I think I got that one wrong.
Let's be honest. Nobody wants to sit around and wait for that.
Oh,
Ugh, I'm gonna
Terrible
come
with
in
the
last.
names.
Oh, damn. We all got it wrong. Don't.
How did you get into first place? What the hell?
A good test taker.
Waiting for Brian. Why does Rennie attack the memorial service? This is a second season thing too.
Oh, wait, I'm guessing. It's cheating, that is. You can't have season 2 questions.
Well, you know
In the
what, to be
season
fair,
2
I think
episode.
it
Unacceptable.
happened- the thing happened in season 1, but the attack happened in season 2. So you
Well,
know,
I still-
it's kind of a like, yeah, and you
Still
you
guessed
got
right.
it. Yeah, you got it. It's fine. What's Vi's nickname for Caitlyn? Now that's definitely a second season one.
Oh,
Does Caitlyn even show up really? Like, do we care? But Caitlyn's technically
idea.
in season 1.
Oh. Damn.
Yeah, Jade's kicking butt. When does Jinx first talk to Jace? Three, 2, 1.
Pick one.
Oh, only one person got it? Oh,
Never.
That was the closest
You said
thing
you
to a
don't do trick questions.
But
Yeah. Trick
question. Trick question.
It's not my fault you didn't watch second season, man.
You said there were no trick questions.
Is that a trick question?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, fine. Okay, there's one trick question.
After the fact, I want an apology.
Who kills Victor? Refresh, Jade, refresh. You should still be in the game. Just hit refresh.
And you're still in first.
even not getting enough that one, you're still winning.
And we all got it wrong.
Aaron got it right.
Well, good job, Aaron.
Complete guess.
See, look at that. Jade's still winning, even though you didn't even get the last 2 questions. What's the name of Vander's bar? Like,
Oh,
I want
damn it.
to open a bar and call it that.
I would call mine Cyberdelia.
What?
That's a movie reference to the movie Hackers.
Aha! I have
Damn
not
it.
seen that in so long.
It's been a while.
Jade's still winning. You can't play. That sucks. But you're still winning. Arcane is currently the most expensive animated series ever made.
Is that per episode or in total?
Total.
In total.
Okay.
Which, if it isn't, right? Because if it wasn't, everybody needs to be animating like that and shut up.
Yeah, it was like $250 million for the seasons, for each season, I think. I love that you freaking won despite...
Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
Oh, that's
Seat of
awesome.
my pants. If it makes you feel any better, y'all spoiled it. But I'm I'm gonna rewatch season 1. I'm going to watch season 2, and I'm psyched about it. Like,
But,
y'all talked
Aaron,
it up and let me know what to expect. I appreciate that.
it'd be interesting to see after hearing people talk about like this. You go in, you might be like, "Yeah, this thing is completely paced perfectly. What were those idiots talking about?" Or, I can totally see where the moral compass was in this. But at least you know what to be watching for.
Yeah.
We'll have to
Right?
come back maybe you'll have an AOG Discord like after hours thing where we come back after you guys have gotten a chance to watch it and we can talk. Jade, you still got second place. You still got second despite not answering the last 4 questions. That's pretty good.
Can I give my sticker to Jade, because that
You
only
absolutely
feels fair.
can.
Like, Jade contributed more to this discussion.
Yeah, and Jade actually
Would
Jade
have
actually
beat the
dropped.
crap.
Yeah,
We could have added all our scores versus Jade.
Yeah,
I
Jade
think
dropped
he would've won.
at least one answer. I think that just the one answer, but you got it right. So if Jade would have been able to answer all the questions, win. So
Very cool.
okay, so yeah. Well, okay. If you want to just quick, so yeah, Mike's gonna pop off here. You got another thing later, don't you? So
Yeah.
good luck with that.
Thank you.
And then yeah, Aaron and Matt, if you want to quick give us one last once over about your campaigns before we go.
Hey, I got to go first the last time. I want Aaron to go first this time because Aaron,
Oh.
you can go first, good sir.
Oh, thank you. Kind sir. Yeah, Ice and Bone, if you like samurai action horror, it follows on from Blood and Fire, so the 5th in the series. So it kind of explains a lot of backstory of the first season, so there's a few flashbacks. There is a real kick-ass action sequence in this. So out of the whole series, this is my favorite action scene. So you can actually be in it. It's one of the rewards tiers to be drawn as a character in the comic. So you can have a choice of 3 mercenaries. They all die, one very awesomely and horribly. So that's your chance. It's so cool. So yeah, if you like a samurai, check it out.
Excellent. And Matt?
All right, so we're up with Heirs of Isildur, The Perilous Prospects, Book 4. While we were on the show, it clicked into that dreaded hours, not days. So we're at 71 hours left in the campaign right now. Every book in the Perilous Prospects series is perfect bound, so everything is 44 to 56 pages, has a spine on the book, so it'll look nice on your bookshelf. This is the beginning of the end of the apocalyptic event that's happening in the town of Shadowshaven. Apocalyptic event is happening. The only way to stop it might be through those who accidentally caused it, including Michael Isildur, the artisan and curator at the Father Time Emporium in Shadowshaven. It's a great story. It's a fun story. There's a lot of characters you can relate to, and we just are really happy that we are going to be able to get this out there to you. And if you're somebody that is a backer, that you're going to be the first people to know who our next 2 campaigns are that we are going to have the links up for when we do our end of campaign live stream on Thursday. We're going to have the links up for the next 2 campaigns for 2 different titles on Thursday night.
And go grab the link from the comments. Don't grab the comment from the links. That's not going to work. Grab the link from the comments for both of these campaigns. They're pinned at the top, and I'll drop them in here at the end. And Jade, it seems to be the general consensus that you ought to get that sticker. So go to facebook.com/definite article creative, and let me pull that up because I didn't do that. I'm going to send that to you so that you can. Whoops. I'm going to send it to you if I can, type, and then I will send you that sticker. You just gotta send me your address, and I'll drop it in the mail tomorrow. Whoop. All right, here we go. Link in the comments there for you. Just send me a private message, and I will get that in the mail tomorrow. I've got avocado. I've got a button with a little onion on it. I'll send you pictures. You send me your comment, and then I'll send you pictures, and then we'll get that taken care of. And yeah, I think you should totally have the sticker too.
Yeah, common consensus that he probably 99.9% would have won.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. You, like I said, you got second place and you didn't even answer the last 4 questions. You definitely would have won.
And I just fat thumbed it in.
I guess pretty much 90%
same.
of my answers.
I was like, oh, let's see, I recognize this name. This is a name I don't know, so they probably don't have the clout to do this epic thing, or...
Yeah, I played the first time that I did these when we came back and did the quizzes. I played the first time. I was like, well, this is stupid. I know all the answers. That's not the way I should do this. So I just don't play anymore.
Especially when you got enough people to do it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think we did one where it was like you, me, and one viewer, and we're like, yeah, wow,
you know
Sarah
what? I
beat
learned
us.
that later that one viewer was Jeffrey, so made it even better.
Here's your sticker.
Everybody have a sticker. So, next week, Lori Calcaterra is coming on. Don't know if I said her last name right either.
That's going to be a fun one. You and Lori in the same room, in the same chat. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I hear that is going to be interesting from people, because we've never directly spoken to one another before, weirdly enough. I know,
Really?
right? I'm 99% sure we've never actually talked directly to one another before, except in the group chats that we're all in. But yeah, and I've never been on her show, she's never been on mine, so it ought to be something.
There could be a Thanos kind of situation. There might be too much personality for the two of you to be on a show, and so he might have to just snap his fingers.
I'll referee.
That's right.
Good luck.
I need the mute button.
Lori's gonna come talk about Path of the Pale Rider, and we are going to talk about, our topic is going to be the movie Don't Look Up. So that's on Netflix. Everybody go watch it,
cool.
and then come back and comment, and it'll be fun.
I already have things to say.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
That one I've seen at least enough of it to form opinions.
Ooh. And then just so that you guys can all, anybody who's watching this, because I know I get a lot of viewers that come after the show's done. The one after that, we're having Lee come on. Uncle Fish is coming, and we're gonna be talking about only murders in the building.
I need to go on that one.
You got
So cool.
You can come back for that, by all means. You're always welcome to come back. I'm totally down.
The one show I actually watched with the wife. It's so good.
So good.
It is. And there's 4 seasons of that, so y'all got to get caught up if you're going to watch. Then you got 2 weeks to do that now. So everybody get watching. And yeah, we'll be back with all that. But next week, Lori and Don't Look Up. So go check out the 2 Kickstarters, the links in the comments, and go and check out Matt's end of Kickstarter thing on Thursday. Just do the things, do all the things, okay? And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Next week.
See ya.